Hello there! I'm doing another Voxshredding unboxing brought to you by JP Fans, the middleman service who sponsored the last time I did one of these. There was a short, there was a longer video, this time there is another longer video, and if you want to know how JP Fans works, you should watch the short. It's very... I actually think I made a pretty cool short, but if you do want more of an explainer, because there was, you know, a little bit of confusion in parts of our medium circle community in the last month and a half or so, don't worry, I'm gonna literally draw you a picture. Why do motion graphics when that can still be confusing? We're just going to do this the old-fashioned way, fountain pen to paper. Clairefontaine paper, by the way. Don't try to tell me that I don't take good care of y'all. This is you. You are this happy little toy collector. You're having a great day because you're going to get some toys. Over here is JP Fans. This is a 1.1 stub nib, by the way, so you're getting high quality. Number one, you sign up to JP Fans, right, using my code, which is 800186566, a code which should provide you with a collection of shipping vouchers worth a collective total of approximately $86 as of this recording. Those are multiple smaller vouchers, collectively worth $86, but using the code does support the channel, and supporting the channel does feed the machine. You then tell JP Fans, because you've used their site to search, let's just say for the sake of argument and ease, it's Mercari, in which you have found, let's just say, some Transformers. That's a Transformer. And also, you found a Kamen Rider as well. And then let's just say for the sake of argument, a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, you found these three items, and then as you saw on JP Fans' website, there was the price from the Japanese seller, along with JP Fans' service fee, and then whatever the shipping may cost to get those items, and this is important, to ship that and that and that, all shipping separately to the JP Fans warehouse. So they've all shipped there, and maybe you've used JP Fans service to have photos taken of your items once they arrived there, and then they're chilling out. At your leisure, however many of your items you want, I would assume all of them, you can see how much it would cost to ship them using whatever shipping service you want to use. However, I would recommend, in most cases, because this sounds like this is recommendable for Americans. I'm a Canadian, not an American, so I'm parroting what Americans have said for the sake of my American viewers. You'll probably want to ship this in a happy little parcel, and you'll want to probably use ECMS. At least the last time I checked for Americans, that seemed to be working. So when this ships via ECMS over to you, there's one important thing, because up here in the shadows, where these originally came from, were the sellers. So the cost to ship these to there, that's one cost, including a service fee. The cost to ship from here to you is another cost, and that is estimated when you start the process of shipping. That estimate, however, is just that, an estimate that might change, and you might want to directly message and confer with JP Fans using this relationship down here to sort out the details of the relationship between yourself and the shipping cost. Now, there is one other question that did come up. What if you have done this step and they've gone here, and you don't want them anymore? Well, that is an issue, because that will rely on what they do, and they are a mysterious bunch who all have their own motivations and personal stories. So I would recommend, as with any middleman service, that if you're buying something at this stage, you make sure you're committed at that point. And then once stuff gets here, you use communication to sort out how to do this part, where the ship's over to you, and then you have a happy Christmas in the summer, where it's really warm and we're all having a great time at the whims of the deadly radiation. So hopefully this helps explain how the JP Fans process works. If you would like to purchase this piece of art from me, perhaps at like TFCon Toronto this coming weekend, just let me know. It'll be starting at the low opening bidding price of $100 Canadian. I'll sign it too, but only if you buy it. With that quick and easy explainer out of the way, but if you would like another quick and easy explainer, check out the short that I did in Vertical. I think it's high time that we get into the contents of this here box, maneuver through the packing materials, and unveil whatever may be found therein. With all this out of the way, let's get one more piece of packing out of the way. This tube, which probably has someone else's doxable info on the side. There's a perforation here, so I'm just going to give this the old twist and crack! Yeah. Then we've got another set of bubble wrap in here, okay. So this is how the shipper sent it to the JP Fans warehouse. I think I slammed the microphone there for a second. And so this is now in its own set of bubble wrap. Let's just deglove it. And then we got some more plastic to deglove. This isn't even the shape of a tube. Like, there's a tube-shaped thing in here. Now, this is wrapped in its own tissue paper. We're going to get a little disrespectful here and Christmas present this. I just wanted a playmat. Someone had a cheap playmat on Mercari Japan. And these playmats, they ain't out in North America yet. All I wanted was a playmat. I didn't think it was going to be bulletproofed the way that it was. But there you go. So let's get this off of here. You can see what the image is going to be there, but that's a spoiler, because instead I'll show you in a far less useful way. Just track this slowly in an image editor and you can see what the entire playmat looks like. Finally, when playing Ultraman card game, I'll know where my scene area is, I'll know where my discard area is, and I'll know where to set down my deck. Thank goodness. Next up, and a little bit more stackably, I've got my first piece of Toy Rise that I've picked up through JP Fans. This is something that is very superfluous in the big picture. However, Toy Rise X Kaiser was my toy of the year last year, and I wanted all the stuffing they did for him, and that included this little bonus set of a slightly differently painted X Kaiser, and then a fully gold version of the King X Kaiser sword. They've since gone on to do black repaint versions that I'm not interacting with at this time, because I can't do that. I don't have to. This tape is indestructible. Everything dies eventually. Let me in. Let me in. Get degloved. So I believe this is floating around in some marketplaces, but like there's none that are convenient to me compared to throwing it into an increasingly sized bundle of 3 things now from JP Fans. So cracking this open has me pleased to report they still have a little instruction book for how to transform little X Kaiser. At a glance, I can't really tell how this blue, which is specifically the part that's supposed to be different, is different than on the regular version. Obviously, this sword's usually silver there, so that's the Thunder Flash sword, but I might need to do a little bit of side-by-side-zing. And then finally, there is this very large bundle of a loose toy that I got off Mercari, so we'll just dump them out on the table here. Whoa! So this was something that was, to give it a bit of a mythology, purchased from Korea by, assumedly, a person who resides in Japan, who opened it and disposed of the box, kept the figure in fairly good condition and then resold it loose, whereby it was bagged up and shipped to JP fans who received it at their warehouse after purchasing it themselves off of Mercari as a proxy for me. They then inspected it, photographed it, and packed it up again themselves before packing it in with 2 other items that went through the exact same process before sending all of that to me as a separate shipping cost, because, like, that's how the mail works. What a story, what a tale, and let's unearth these pieces of plastic and assumedly screws, which are assumedly made of metal, and see if everything survived the journey. I am not going to be keeping any of this wrapping stuff. This is all going into le recycling. Oh, there we go. It's like a big team bag. And this thing was like a brick when I not only received the box, but then pulled it out of the shipping box. This separately altogether felt like another brick, which was something I was curious about. This is a Ziploc. Hell yeah, I'm going to keep this. I was curious about this because I haven't gotten anything loose from a middleman in a hot minute, and I was curious if it would be as solidly packed as something that was just, you know, in its own box like last time. And yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised so far. I kind of thought things would be jiggling around more. I kind of figured that, like, the card came loose, but I thought the card would be jiggling around a whole lot extra compared to how it is right here. This is also my first time messing with a metal Cardbot, so pardon my rapt giddiness as I affix a metal card to its entirely hidden accessory for the very first time. Let's get to the biggin. I am aware, by the way, that this particular piece has one thing to look out for, which is very tight neck. You know, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I don't need to be neat and tidy about this bag. I'm not keeping this bag. Let's just split it and get it open here. So, I am going to test the neck of Metal Cardbot W Heavy Iron W. And thankfully I'm equipped with things like shock oil and a paintbrush to apply it with, so that I don't have to worry about anything that's too squeaky. This thing is friggin' enormous. I'm going to quickly get all of this stuff put together, inspected, and assembled. Then we're going to do a little run-through of all 3 things in a little bit more detail. Time skip now. Slapping that playmat down. I feel powerful. I feel powerful. My deck is... No. Slap that playmat down. I know where to put my deck. I know where to put my scenes. I know where to put my discard pile. And overall, it feels nice to have the delightful artwork of BP05 staring at me, a BP that I pulled a lot of quad rares from. But it's also pleasant to have an Ultraman card game playmat that is regulation size, because then when I fight someone who has their own regulation Ultraman card game playmat, I can dock them together and align our scene areas so that we can take one standard-sized sleeved trading card and slap it right down there on the seam where it belongs. It's really good. The Toy Riser X Kaiser Sword set, a funny little thing, a strange little thing. Let's crack her open and have a look-see at what lays inside. Get up, open. Oh, there we go. So we've got a little X Kaiser and a little golden Kaiser sword. They are both plastic wrapped for your goodness and freshness. I'll just show you right now. Here's this Kaiser sword, and here's the one that comes with Toy Rise King X Kaiser. So aside from, you know, this being all lit up for Thunder Flash, you also can just have 2 swords, which seems pretty neat. And then down here is the fancy version of the little X Kaiser car mode. I've got the original here, and I can barely tell the difference. The colors on this version are a little bit lighter, and the colors on this version are a little bit darker. A little bit. Almost imperceptibly. You can kinda, this is like maybe more desaturated on this, this is the one that we just opened. A little bit more desaturated. Yeah, I don't know. Let's robot this guy up. Let's go some Change X Kaiser. Okay, so it's still incredibly hard to tell the difference at a glance. This one is just slightly more desaturated. The yellow on the crotch is slightly warmer. It's really hard to tell the difference. There is a huge advantage to having this one, though, which is that my original has a very strange fracture that happened, where you can see there's like a full ring on here, and on this side it's cracked open and a piece fell off. This has not affected the functionality whatsoever, but now this means that my uglier one can live inside of a King Rotor or Dragon Kaiser, and this one can live outside of a King Loader or Dragon Jet. And finally, we have my very first metal Cardbot, Heavy Iron Wild, Heavy Iron W, and he is an enormous truck. An enormous truck. Look, it's little tiny modern gears, deluxe gears from Transformers. He's an enormous truck. He's even like a dude who can roll around. He's got a good pivoting axis, and here's a cool bit that was not in the instructions, but there's some flip-down bits here. I already had them flipped down. Oops. Anyway, these things here, you'll see them on the front of some legs maybe later on. These flip down so this thing can stand on its own, but if you flip them up, stick that in, now he's really rolling around on his own. I don't have much room to roll him here. I'm going to transform him now, and I'm just going to let you enjoy some of the sounds of the modern Cardbot. I mean, listen to this. It's so friggin' cool, man. He's enormous. I'm so glad I don't shoot videos like this anymore, because I would have to be so far away from my preferred pancake lens. This would be ridiculous. And this dude kind of rules. The original owner of this in Japan actually seems to have applied some lubricant to the famously over-tight neck ball joint, because it's just smooth like butter. I was all ready to put some shock oil in there, but something was already done. I'm not sure what. But articulation-wise, this is a Cardbot W, and a big one, so he's full of lots of different ranges of, like, look at this. There's one there and one there. Double jointed elbow, friggin' wrist swivel. Dude has the sometimes not always there waist joint. Sometimes not always there on things that, you know, are big and brave like. Get all this skirt stuff out of the way just so I can really, like, swing that around. Whoop. Whoop. Let's get a nice variety of different ratcheting noises, and then also like down over here. Hello. So I think this thing's pretty darn neat. Especially since I've also now messed with some of their work on the Gutai with their Firebird and Grandbird, and thusly Great Firebird. It's really cool to handle something by Godbrave Studio, same chefs, but from two different kitchens. The Gutai coming from Good Smile, and then this coming out of whatever the name of that Chinese distributor of Cardbot is, but under the auspices of Samji. There's also this thing, this card. I'm not gonna put the card on him today, because, you know, I want to keep it nice and mint just in case I can get this slabbed up. I've got a sleeve all ready to go to pop this into. Then I'm going to be sending it off to the Trading Card Authority in order to get this graded. As you can tell, it is a mint. It's a gem mint. it's a gem mint 10, so I will be, you know, selling this later on for approximately $4,000 if there's anyone who wants to get in on the deal of the century. It is also kind of cool to actually now see one of these in person. I don't know how clearly you can see it in the camera, but there is a very slight circular protrusion here, very slight, and that's where the NFC chip lives. So now I get it, is you slide that thing into something, well, you know, if you aren't grading it like I am, and then if it's from the right territory, it makes the right noises, as I understand it. Ooh. Anyway, once again, this unboxing video was brought to you in part by JP Fans. As I explained before, they are a middleman service, they are sponsoring this video, and if you would like to use them in a way that also benefits me and
feeds the machine,
then make sure that you use the code
800186566
if you decide to sign up on their site and give their services a whirl. Once again, I will remind you, they are a middleman service. You purchase something through them off of a Japanese marketplace. It's shipped from that marketplace to their Japanese warehouse. Then at your leisure, however much stuff you have at their Japanese warehouse is shipped once again, but this time to you, with a service fee on each item in between. If you have any lingering questions about how such services work, I'll do my best to answer them, but also will direct you to Dumb Jake's video, wherein he put in a whole lot of work to explain how this works. How many more times can I say work? I don't know, but I will catch you all later, and as always, this is an unboxing, not a review. The distinction is important to me, and it really should be important to you.